Hello, everyone. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I'm your host, Jennifer Jennings. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. We needed a little astrology update. This everything that we saw coming for Summer Wells, well, it's now here. It's now here. And the lunar nodes for the state of Tennessee, lunar nodes for little Summer Wells, and lunar nodes for her dad. They were just in transit with the state of Tennessee. Yeah, yeah, with the state of Tennessee. And if you have not heard yet, there is I think his name is Jason Jensen. He's received a tip from someone. He's called it into the TBI today. And of course, you know, when he received the tip, there was a letting go with Summer. There was a letting go. What does a letting go mean? Sedna in Gemini was at a 110. She has a transformation of health with the 110 degree in her chart. And that 110 is going to keep showing itself. Saturn is going to come to the 110. Jupiter is going to come to the 110. And speaking of Jupiter, y'all, Jupiter has just come into Cancer. Jupiter is now at a 0000 in Cancer. This morning, Jupiter was expanding communications with the state of Tennessee. And that would, of course, have to do with Summer. But it was also about a police officer pew-pewing someone that was in downtown Nashville, was coming to the cop with another pew-pew, and he acted in self-defense, and the man lost his life, and that's that. Anytime these transits come into play, I mean, we can definitely, we know that things are going to be happening. We just don't know exactly what. We just don't know exactly how it's going to express itself because we have other people that are involved. I'll tell you something, y'all. I wanted to make sure that I came live today to say that Ohio and Texas are going to be holding the collective transit in more ways than one. Texas there's a lot of transformation, deep transformation that is going to be taking place in Texas. And there's a lot. There is a devouring energy that is coming about in Texas and then Ohio. The things that we are seeing in California, obviously that started when their moon at a 333, Pluto was just at. Pluto was just at their moon degree at a 333. Pluto is now at a 331. But that moon that California has just been opposed by Venus. You see what I'm saying? Like these degrees in our chart are constantly in conversation, and they are moving us every single day, all day long. And sometimes it's a beautiful sight. And then other times it's confusing as all get out because, you think that there's certain things are going to manifest and it just doesn't. There is a divine justice coming with a place of business, possibly with an older male, with her father. Summer Wells is going to be missing for 3 years this month. She went missing on June 15th, 2021. And here we are, and we are coming to that 3rd year anniversary. I'm not sure who the Jensen dude is talking about, who the private investigator is talking about, and I'm not sure that this is going to be panning out to anything. I played the tape through July. I think it was July 19th that I looked at. Yeah, it's been a long time, long time. Just like with Sebastian, I'm hopeful that it's not going to take till he's 19. I hope that he comes home tomorrow. I know that in the next couple of days, Sebastian is always popping in and out of transit, and we can see that with the chatter online. I can see where the agencies are talking back and forth to one another about it. And I always wonder, is this going to be that day? Is this going to be the day? Jupiter right now is, like I said, Jupiter's just come into Cancer. And what does that mean? That means that Jupiter has just left Gemini, the twins, the chatter, the silly chatter between two people like Elon and Trump. The critical communications with the law enforcement has just passed us by. And now Jupiter, the law, the higher learning, the mental exploration, our belief systems when it comes to immigration, with religion, our belief system. That is what the moon is now in Sag. In just 2 days, we are going to see the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th. So we are building up to that expansion of the moon with immigration, with the law enforcement, with mental exploration, a higher learning, college, graduations, teaching. It's the philosophy house. Jupiter wants to go far. Jupiter is a fire energy. Fires at home. The police coming to the home. Expansion of home. Moving. Going far and moving home. Genealogy. Genealogy is Cancerian. Emotional. Home. Mom. Genealogy. Being receptive, intuitive. It's, Cancer is very receptive and sensitive and imaginative, has a huge imagination with Jupiter expanding. Jupiter is in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, things that are hidden. That's where Jupiter is transiting at here in Tennessee, here in Nashville. What I see coming with summer is Uranus is going to shake things up. Uranus is already shaking things up, okay? But Uranus is going to shake things up with Jensen Investigates. Jensen Investigates, I actually found his birthday. It was really easy to find. It's on his Facebook. And so, of course, I'm, looking at his, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, the divine justice Astrea. She is the goddess of health. She is at a 28 degree in Leo for summer. And Jensen dude, he's got his Jupiter at a 28. It's the same degree. They have the same degree in Leo. And of course, if I follow the map, I go to a couple of people. I go to a person with the last name Crawford, and I go to a person with the last name Hammonds. And of course, I could keep on going. I don't know that this is going to be a legit lead that is going to lead us to summer, because she matches Virginia so well. I don't know that she isn't in Virginia. I do know that there's going to be a devouring energy with her dad tomorrow, with the law enforcement and her dad tomorrow. And like I said, there's a lot. Like, her dad does match Texas. Her dad matches Ohio. And there is going to be this intensity that is coming over both states tomorrow and Tuesday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Tuesday and Wednesday. Lots of transformation. There is a lot still happening in California, of course. Venus right now is hitting their ascendant. California's ascendant degree. There is so much going on, I can barely keep up. I'm just, like, whoa, there is so much intensity. And we talked about this, June being very intense month. And it is. It hasn't disappointed us at all, you know. But I did want to come on for a little bit and talk about everything that I was seeing. I am going to put out a little video for the full moon in Sag, but I mean, we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it. It's about fires and explosions, shootings. It's immigration, missiles, religion, all things having to do with learning and what we believe. What is it that we truly believe? Because Jupiter is squaring Saturn. Jupiter is squaring Neptune. Jupiter is going to be coming into the United States. Jupiter, this means that the United States is having a Jupiter return. We can look back 11 years ago, 12 years ago, and we can see the last time that the United States had their Jupiter return and what happened. And I do plan on doing that and putting that in my full moon in Sag, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Hey, Hope. Hey, Lee, Jeff. So the moon is going to be opposing the sun, right? When we have a full moon, the full moon in Sagittarius is going to oppose the sun in Gemini. All the stuff that we're seeing with Trump. And speaking of Trump, he's going to be coming into transit. Actually, he is coming into transit within the next hour, possibly having to do with Georgia. He in Georgia and Canada, they all three share a degree, and it's a 1454 degree. So Canada is coming into transit in the next hour. Georgia will be coming into transit the next hour. So will President Trump. And then the lunar nodes of fate are going to come over Trump and how he shines in Gemini. So it's just still, y'all, there's just so much intensity. And it's just not going to go away. These protests aren't going away. Different states are going to be having those protests take place in their cities. And I would say be very vigilant, I would not, me personally, I wouldn't be in a large setting, in a group setting, especially in Texas. I don't know what's going on in Texas, but it's just, I should have Googled it before I went live. But the things going on in Texas are going to be around today and tomorrow. Major transformation. It's going to be in the public eye, and there's a devouring energy with it. I can't express that enough. And I'm looking to see, the moon is going to be not just opposing the sun, but the moon is also opposing Hygeia, which is the purity of health. She is about world health. In your chart, Hygeia is about not just your health, but the world health. It's a collective. It's more, Hygeia is collective. She's talking about the world, especially if you have her in the 9th house, because that is world. That is the, you're going far to another land. But the moon is going to be fated with Mercury and Venus. Mercury and Venus, like I said, Venus is at the ascendant of California right now in Taurus. It's all about the values. And the moon is in Sag. So we're talking about earth and fire. Mercury is in Cancer now. And so we are talking about home, communications about home. And there's a fate. The moon is in a good standing with Saturn, and Saturn, of course, is going to be, Saturn is at a 101 degree in Aries. And what is Saturn? Authority. Saturn can be that military. That's why it's in good standing. The moon is in good standing with the military. It's in good standing with the immigration police. But it's opposing Uranus. So the moon is opposing Uranus at a 2836 in Taurus. It's about our values. We, the people, our values. And the conflict over the emotions, our belief systems, the one love. And we, the people, are voicing our opinion. And at the same time that we are voicing our opinion, there is a lot of conflict. And we can see it in California. I mean, there's a lot of conflict. I don't think that these protests are created by we the people. I think it's created by the, opposing forces, opposition within the government. Look over here, don't look over here type of thing. The moon is in good standing with Neptune, and it is about the beliefs, what we believe. But we can't be so clouded that we aren't seeing things clearly. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy that is going toward Idaho as well. And I do see that Idaho is still quaking. Idaho is still having a lot of earthquakes. The sun has been active. Our universe and our planet, we too are electromagnetic beings. So of course it makes sense that we would see more magma movement in the seas and on land underneath this soil of, even in Colorado, Wyoming. But Idaho is still just, it's crazy. Idaho is still just quaking like crazy. And they have a lot more to go through. And hopefully they make it out without getting a Mag 7 or something like that. It does look like, Honduras, other places are susceptible, and especially with Jupiter just coming into Cancer. Anyone that has a 0-0 Cancer, well, you're going to feel it first. You're going to feel that expansion with Jupiter first. Jupiter wants to teach us things. Jupiter wants us to learn and go higher, explore. It can bring us great luck, an expansion of knowledge, can give us major lessons. We're also seeing that Saturn is at the 101 in Aries, and Saturn is making its way to a full-on opposition with Summer Wells. So I don't know that this lead is going to lead us to summer. I hope that it does, but just not. like to look at the Jensen dude's chart, and I get hopeful, I get optimistic because his Jupiter is going to be, Mars is coming to that Jupiter. Mars is coming to the Jupiter that Mr. Jensen has. Mars is coming to the, not just his Jupiter in Leo, but the same degree is held by Summer Wells, and that's where she receives divine justice in the 10th house in Leo. So it's possible. It's possible. Mr. Jensen is going to have a lot of weight on him on the 11th with the full moon in Sag. It could be the things that he learns is going to weigh him down. And I just, like I said, I just pulled this right before the live. But I wanted to come on for a little bit and just say, hey, you know, if you're in Texas, if you know anybody in Texas, Ohio, Idaho, you know, California too. California is still reaping from 2 days ago. Everything that was, you know, that had began 2 days ago. And Venus is still at their ascendant at a 342. And then Venus is going to come to the same degree as Mexico, the 344. It's going to come to the same degree. The 344 is also not just in Mexico's chart, but it's also with President Trump. It's also with Israel. And that is where his hidden enemies are, is Mexico and Israel. That is where his hidden enemies are, Mexico and Israel. That would be Trump. And vice versa. Mexico and Israel, their hidden enemy is with Trump. No doubt about it. I don't know where Trump is today, but like I said, there is this divine justice that is coming to Canada. It could be about the kids. Definitely could be about the kids, because Canada, it could be about the kiddos, Jack and Lily. I can see that there is an expansion with communications about health in Indiana right now. I definitely see that. Communications are intense with health. Could be about the lungs, the breath, or just communications in general. I want to say the Crawford dude that I was looking at with Summer Wells, I want to say that he is also coming into transit as well in the next few days. There is going to be a letting go with a deep transformation with health. Maybe he passes away. I don't know. Maybe he's one of those guys that the investigator is looking at. I just don't know, because I haven't talked to the investigator and I don't know everything that he knows. When it comes to Sebastian Rogers, I saw that this morning there was definitely a disordered aggression about the communications with Eric Craddock. With the FBI this morning, the FBI, Eric Craddock, they were in transit this morning, early this morning, the same time Sebastian was. Well, I tell you what, Jupiter is about to come and oppose Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in the second house of values. And that is going to take place when Jupiter comes to quickly, when Jupiter quickly comes to the 0021. And when that happens, there is going to be an opposition. I'm going to tell you when this is happening and we can observe it together, because we won't have to wait long to observe this. Just like all of the other stuff that we heard about with Sebastian, with the ladies going live and everything. What was the Voices of Truth? I love that song, by the way. It used to be one of my favorite revival songs when I used to go to church. But there is a, this is when the Homeland Security is going to be in transit on the 11th with Donald Trump. That's Wednesday. That's the full moon. There's a fate with Donald Trump on that day with Homeland Security, with Maryland, and with Sebastian. It looks like Jupiter is going to be coming into that degree with an opposition. Let's see, when is that? Yeah. And yeah, so that's going to be Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. We are going to see an opposition with Sebastian, with the values, with the deep transformation that took place at home, the communications with the TBI is about the lowest point that he had at home when he allegedly took out the trash. The TBI and Sebastian will be in transit together Wednesday morning. Together. There is going to be an enlightenment with communications with the TBI. And like I said, there's an opposition, a full-on opposition with Sebastian Wednesday morning. The full moon being full in Sag is going to be full in his first house. The first house is about your life path. It's everything to do with your life path. And there is past communications here. And there's a divine justice that is coming to Katie. There's a disordered aggression when it comes to the law enforcement and the relationships with Sebastian and the information that is being received. So I really want to keep my eye out on Wednesday morning. Could it be something that has taken place that will take place Tuesday night? Possibly. Maybe it's something that happens on Tuesday night that the TBI is going to be talking about early Wednesday morning. But it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be observing, whether or not I put out a video or not. I'm always observing, I'm always observing it. That's the only way. It's the best way. It's the best way to learn astrology. And then what's going to happen is Thursday, whatever is taking place on Wednesday, then Thursday, there is this collective transit that will hit Mr. Proudfoot, Michael Proudfoot, all day long on Thursday. And as far as the different states that I see that day on Wednesday, I'm still seeing that there are things going to take place with, there is a buildup that is coming from Texas and Ohio, and it's coming to Virginia. It will hit their midheaven. So Pluto is going to be opposing, the groups will be opposing all the attention with Virginia. It could be the military, for all I know. I don't know. But we do have a lot going on in the month of June, and then July is just as intense. The things that are going on around the world, we can't ignore. I mean, I guess we can, I can go out the garden and not worry about any of it. And I'm not going to worry about it so much, but I do see that there is a lot taking place. A lot that is taking place and that is going to continue to take place because of the immigration. And that is the divine justice, her being in Astria, being in Sagittarius, is what this is all about. Astria, we saw how we can see how she can, create havoc in the air. We saw a lot of planes going down, helicopters going down, fires being started. And she is still in Sag. She will not come out of Sag until November. So we are going to see this opposing force in Gemini. We're going to see the opposing force with, Jupiter is going to be square this Saturn. Jupiter is going to be square Neptune in Aries. Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, and there's a lot of action. There's an expansion with travel, and it has everything to do with the immigration and flight, the air. Not only that, Astrea and Sagittarius, it would not ever surprise me if we don't see a massive solar flare while she's in Sag, especially when she reaches some of the degrees of the observatories. Because, what we see that is showing us the sun's activity, that was created. There's a chart for that. There's a chart for that. Pluto in Aquarius that's we the people. Aquarius is we the people. It's us. It's innovative. It's different. It's groups. It can be gay. Uranus can be, it could be gay. If you've got Uranus in the 5th house of kids, your child might be gay, so. And I say that with all due respect. Okay. Because I have not read anyone yet that doesn't have Uranus in the 5th house and their child isn't gay. And I'm open to changing my mind with that. Uranus is going to be square Pallas. It's the investigation. So that means that the investigations with ICE, of course, they're going to go to where all the protests are. They can round up people left and right there. That is the square. That is the major challenge. Pluto, the challenge with Pluto and the flame of life with Vesta. Vesta and Pluto are squaring off. Vesta is in Scorpio. Vesta in Scorpio is about investigations. And there is a reigniting of a flame. There's this reigniting of a flame with Vesta. And when she is reignited, something is starting to brew again from times past. Something comes up again. It's like, why is this never going to go away? Well, because Vesta's just been, Vesta's in transit with you. That's why. It's a reigniting of a flame. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Julia. Hey, y'all. So Wednesday morning, that's what I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching. There is an opposition with the Pluto. Jupiter is going to come and oppose Sebastian. And I want to see what this opposition is going to look like. I could even go to Tuesday night. So I could even go tomorrow night and see like what is the TBI going to be talking about that was going on? Would it be something that happened on June 10th that the TBI is in transit with Sebastian with, and there's this opposition. The moon is going to be in Sagittarius, right? The moon is going to be coming full. And the moon coming, let me see. Could it be something about the school? It could be something about the school. Let me see. Let me look at this transit. It looks like it could be with the school or a homeschool. the way that the TBI and Sebastian, the way that they connect is in an opposition. They oppose one another, and it's with school. It's with school. That's what I think anyway. It looks like, again, Texas and Ohio. That's going to be the main players in the transit collectively tomorrow night. Ashray isn't touching him. There will be an intensity with information that is coming in about Sebastian, but that's not going to come until Wednesday morning. So there's something that's going on Wednesday morning. And I can't put my finger on it just yet. And if I can, I will definitely come back live and talk to you guys about it and let you know what I'm thinking. But it looks like, let's see, it could be Tuesday night, the third house of communications. No, I don't think so. But all I see is Texas and Ohio. Interesting. Interesting. The sun is going to come and shine at a 2035, and it's going to bring enlightenment to the state of Tennessee. That could be it. Let's see. It'd be overnight. And I don't stay up to watch those those late night channels. But I will be looking to see what is in transit when I wake up Wednesday versus what chatter, what they were talking about Tuesday evening. The sun is going to shine on the enlightenment with the state of Tennessee, but then we're going to be opposed. It looks like the opposition would be with Chris, and Chris is traveling. Chris, his traveling. That's what it looks like to me. That's where the opposition is. That's where the opposition is. Okay. I think that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be somebody's going to be talking about Chris. Maybe Chris is going to be on the live. I have no idea how this is going to express itself, but I can see that there is going to be everything that is taking place Wednesday night, Wednesday overnight. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, say like Wednesday at 1:00 in the morning. 1:00 in the morning, Sebastian will be in transit with the state of Tennessee. There's going to be enlightenment with these communications. And there's something about Chris and where he traveled to. It's a long travel. Where Chris went. And it may not just be from state to state. It could be another country. And we know that he's traveled all around, especially when he was in the service. We know that he was stationed in Cuba. And it looks like the information that is the information is going to start around 5:00 in the morning, Wednesday morning. And there is going to be enlightenment with the fourth house of home, with the physician in the fourth house of home. Let's see. This is going to start at 5:00 in the morning, Wednesday morning. I wonder if there's going to be leads. A lead that comes in. Yeah, because it's going to oppose Sebastian. It's going to oppose his values. I even see Crabtree up in this. I don't know why I'm seeing him. It could be the communications that he had. I don't know. And then I think on the 12th, I want to say it's the 12th, there's going to be a breakup with communications with Seth, with Sebastian's father. There's this breakup with communications here. You know what? I'm going to come back on in the morning and I'm not going to show you guys what I'm seeing, because we can talk about it before it gets here Wednesday and Thursday. I think that's what we need to do here. And I'll have more time in the morning because I can see that the TBI, I can see that. That's going to be Ohio. So we go from Texas to Ohio. We're in Texas tomorrow. And then Thursday, we're going to go to Virginia. We'll be in Virginia. There'll be limits and obstacles in Virginia. And then the sun is going to shine on the connection with Chris Proudfoot and the FBI. Yeah, I think we will definitely. I'm going to come back on in the morning, and that can just be about Sebastian. My live will just be about him tomorrow morning. It does look like there's a lead that's going to come in. Will it be the lead? Because like I said, I'm not. Seems like Sebastian would be about 19 when I play the tape through, but it could be sooner than that. We just never know. We just never know what the Creator has in store for us. By then, by Thursday, the moon is going to be in Capricorn, so we will be reflecting on the moon isn't good. Let's just say that the moon isn't all that great in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn is pretty cold, emotionally distant, not really emotionally involved. And that could be, something that is what we need, is the law enforcement, the TBI, to be more, emotionally invested. And you would think that Sumner County would definitely be emotionally invested with Sebastian's case. There's a divine justice. Maybe that divine justice is going to come overnight. Don't know what this has got. Let's see. This would be about when it hits Katie. When the justice comes to Katie, it's about the things of the past and a relationship. A relationship that gives Sebastian a conscious raising experience, and it's hidden. There's a hidden relationship here. And this is going to be, we will observe this Wednesday night. And like I said, I'm going to come on tomorrow in the morning and I'm going to write all this down. This will be Wednesday night, June 11th. We know that is when the moon is becoming full. And then right after the full moon, then the moon goes into Capricorn. And this divine justice, once it goes over Katie, is going to leave Katie, and then it's going to come right to Summer Wells, right to Summer. This is about Sebastian's values with school. And it sounds good, don't it? It sounds like there's going to be a huge weight over Eric Craddock. His lunar nodes of fate, there's going to be a huge weight of home. There's going to be a huge weight over all the pain that Katie has been carrying throughout her life, about her mother, about her family, about her genealogy. And Chris could be spitting nails. There's going to be a lot of energy that's weighing him down. This is going to be an interesting one to observe. And like I said, Wednesday night around 9:30 p.m., this is when, between 8 and 9 p.m. Nashville time, this is when all of this is going to show itself. Sebastian's values with school. I know that the reason why Sebastian went missing is because of the values of his stepdad, his stepdad's mom, Chris's stepdad, Chris's dad. These values are centered around his sister. The communications in the future with Sebastian, communications with groups, communications with his sister, all of that was in transit right before he goes missing. So of course, you have to take that into consideration. There's this relationship that's going to show itself Wednesday night. And it could be late Wednesday night. Will we see it? Will we hear about it? It'll be around, 10 o'clock Nashville time. Will we see it? I don't know. But I want y'all to be looking for it. And like I said, I'm going to come back live in the morning and I'm going to write all this down as I see it. So I hope you guys have a beautiful afternoon. It's 5 o'clock here, 5 o'clock somewhere. And I will talk to you guys in the morning and we will talk about Sebastian. We will look at the transits and we will talk about his case and any of the other cases you want to talk about. I mean, I'm game for whatever. I'll have more time in the morning. And so I will come back on and I will talk to you guys then about some of these cases and world events. What could be taking place in Texas? We're going to find out. And we're going to find out what this chatter is going to be about with Sebastian. Do I think that Sebastian is alive? Yes. Do I think that he made it home? I do. I do think that he made it home. I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't make it home. Maybe he, I could show you on the map where Texas Roadhouse is. I could show you on the map where that BP is that they stopped and got gas. I never thought that Sebastian was deceased. I looked for him in the woods. If he was going to be deceased, he should be where we were looking for him. And he has not been found. There has been massive land, air, water searches for Sebastian, and he is not to be found. Did they overlook him? That's possible. Me personally, I think he made it home. I think that if the TBI and the FBI, I think that if they thought that he did not make it home and there was a transaction with Katie, that she would already have been, she would already be arrested. We do know that she had been given a couple of lie detector tests, maybe 2 or 3. She's the last person with him, allegedly. Who knows? Maybe he didn't make it home. But she does have a audio. I think that for me, if Seth could hear or see the video of him going home, that would seal the deal for me. But he hasn't been shown that video. And, you got to ask yourself why. Why was he not shown that video of or the audio of them going home? It makes no sense to me. Why would you not show the father that last moment? So we know that Seth saw Sebastian get in the car. He got in the car when they left Texas Roadhouse, but he has not been given any other evidence besides the grainy video of Sebastian walking the trash to the curb. Okay, so if that's a grainy video and Seth can't make out that that's his son, why not show him a proof of life that he actually did make it home? And then you got to think about, okay, so the lights in the middle of the night. No, the lights in the middle of the night are definitely not going to retrieve belongings. That's a no go. No, those lights in the middle of the night is not his belongings. Somebody going to pick up his belongings. No, that's a definite no. That don't even make sense. It makes no sense. Why would anybody go in the middle of the night to retrieve clothes and or belongings? None of the belongings were taken. Everything is still there. There's nothing else missing. I think Sebastian, there was something that took place at 1:30 in the morning. From 1:30 to 3:30, there was an intensity with Sebastian. And that's exactly when those lights were going, were in question. So no, I think that he made it. Me personally, I think that he made it home. And I'm okay to be proven wrong. I don't care. But the astrology is, for me it doesn't equate. It just doesn't. Okay, so Jeff is home now. Jeff is home. So I'm going to jump off here. Got some Jeff, will you turn your phone down, please? Okay. It's cool. So we're gonna touch back base in the morning. I'll have more time in the morning and we're gonna talk about Sebastian. I only want to talk about Sebastian tomorrow, and maybe, we can talk about summer as well. But I want to make sure that we get all of this out, or that I get all of this out that I've been holding in looking at these transits for the last week, and get this out to you guys and get it recorded, because I want to make sure that in the future we can come back and we can look at it and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I just really do believe that we have to keep an open mind with all of these cases. We really do. We want to keep an open mind and be open to change in our mind. Um, oh, hey, Diamonds. Hey, honey. We just want to be, having an open mind. And I know that for me, I just don't think that there's any other reason for all of those lights in the middle of the night in Sebastian's neighborhood. There's no other reason why there wasn't major intensity happening with him and his health between 1:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Things were really going on with Sebastian. And I want to bring everyone back that will listen, because I know I'm not selling drama over here. So, we got 7 in the chat. But I want to bring it all back to the table and say, hey, let's remember what we do know for sure. And what we know for sure is Sebastian was having issues in the middle of the night. And it was with his health. And health is a broad spectrum. These energies that are constantly in orb, that are constantly making us move and react, and, they're fated. There's a fate here with Sebastian. and there's an allotted time that he will be found. And until that time comes, we can't fix, manage, and control it. But I can guarantee you one thing. Something went down in the middle of the night, and it wasn't to go get his clothes. Okay. Wasn't to go get his clothes. Wasn't to get anything. Wasn't to retrieve anything. When we say that an Uber driver cannot, that we don't think that an Uber driver would drive an expensive car, I have to disagree, because I've definitely gotten Uber rides with people that have nice rides, especially people that are retired, that are not looking to create revenue or an income, but to just get out of the house, and do something else. And it's really, that's really that what he's wearing, what the yellow coat dude is wearing really is neither here nor there for me. What he's driving is really neither here nor there. And to say that there's a picture of Sebastian on his phone that's blurry, I can't even make that out. I can't make it out. Is it a good theory? I think it is a good theory. I'm not knocking the theory at all. I think it's a great theory. I think that there's things that was taking place with Sebastian after 6:30, 7 o'clock. And we're going to talk about that in the morning. We're going to talk about that because we have a timeline for Sebastian. We have a timeline. We know that he left the roadhouse at 6:22. We know that he got home at, I think it was 6:37. I've got it written down. I've got the chart saved. But we know that he made it, we know that he made it home per the law enforcement. And that's what we have to go by. We have the law enforcement. They said that he made it home. But they have no evidence that he left the home. There's no evidence that he left. They are saying that they have evidence that he made it home. So they're not going to give us the dash cam or whatever it is, the video, the audio, whatever that was on the vehicle, the communications that were taking place. They're not going to give us that information, but they told us. And that's really the only facts that we have to go on. Everything else is speculation and theories. It's just speculation and theories. So we know that from the law enforcement that he made it home. And that there's the video of the lights, Nick Barris put it out, and I don't think that he was supposed to. Then he retracts it. Oh, it's a nothing burger, But we see them. We see the lights. We know that there's cars in the neighborhood. The green hoodie, that person's been accounted for. Everybody was on the green hoodie. Now people are on the yellow coat dude. It does look like he would have, it does look like he could have shaved his head. The man was wearing gloves. He was wearing a mask. That looks shady. COVID is gone. That kind of looks shady to me. It looks kind of weird. Like he's trying to hide his identity. I don't know that he would actually have Sebastian on his phone because that picture's blurry. I can't make that out. I can't see if that's Sebastian or not. People are saying that it is. I don't know. I paused it. I can't see it. It just looks like a blurry figure to me. It could be Sebastian. It's too blurry for me to tell. And then we know that Craddock said specifically out of his own mouth, we don't know if he has shoes on or not. Seth said all the shoes are accounted for. We have been under the impression that he left without shoes, but Craddock said out of his own mouth that We don't know. He said, we don't know if he had shoes on or not. We just don't have any evidence that he left the home. So if he left the home to walk the trash down, there would be a scent that's going to walk the trash down. And I can guarantee you one thing too, it's 2025. The BP that they went to has got cameras. And from there, there's other cameras. There's cameras everywhere. Big Brother is watching. It took them 10 days to go to Warsham's to ask for the video because there was 3 eyewitnesses that said, 3, not 1, not 2, but 3, that said that they saw Kathy and Sebastian at Warsham's. It took them 10 days. And of course, the video had already been written over. It had already been recorded over. So they couldn't even obtain footage from Warsham's. We know that Katie went around, riding around really quick with her windows up. She wasn't even yelling for Sebastian. It was just a quick go into the school, come back out, and go home. That's what she did, right? We know that the conversation at that house per Seth was shady as shit. I mean, they're talking about jewelry and vacations and everything else. They weren't talking about Sebastian. They didn't act like they have a missing son. They did not act like they were worried about Sebastian. And they still don't act like it. So they don't act like that, something bad's happened and that they've disposed his body and all that stuff. They don't act like that. They don't act like he's ran away. They're going about their business. They just don't act like they got a missing kid. I'd tilt the world. Well, you don't know what you would do, Jennifer. Hell yeah, I do. I would tilt this world. I would tilt it until I found my kid. I would shake it until I found my kid. Chiron's mama, yeah, that's a mama that's missing a kid. You can see a lot of mamas out there that are missing children, and none of them act like Katie. This weekend, there is a huge weight. There's a huge weight that's coming. And we're just going to have to see what this weight is going to materialize into. But this weekend, that weight is coming on Katie, on Craddock, and it's coming on the home front. Did he make it home or did he not? The voices of truth, they are putting out their truth, their theory. And I think it's a good theory. And I think that the more that we talk about our theories and the more that maybe it will put pressure on them to come out and say something. We do have proof. We do have proof that he made it home. Here's the proof. Okay, well, maybe it would. Why would it mess up the investigation? It's not. I mean, at least show the dad, at least show Seth that he made it home. Let him sleep better at night. Forget about us. I mean, damn, let the father see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Nick Barris. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Nick Barris would not have. I think that he was like, oops. Nick was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Let me retract this. Let me, try to act like it's nothing. Because the lights could be the investigation process, but why would it hurt anyone to know that they know for a fact that Sebastian made it home? Why wouldn't they show Seth the video? They showed him the Texas Roadhouse, him getting into the car. Again, that gas station, if Sebastian went from one car to the other, I can promise you one thing, BP would have had that. All the cameras up and down there would have had that. If the law enforcement knew that she stopped and got gas per the audio or video or whatever it is that's in her car, they would have asked her, where did you stop? Where exactly did you go? I stopped here and got gas. Well, if they didn't go and do their due diligence and look at that camera, they're at fault. They failed Sebastian. Just like they failed him by not going and getting that video about Kathy. Shit, right after Sebastian goes missing. That's all I'm hearing. We saw Kathy and Sebastian at Warsham's. And we know for a fact that they went there because I spoke to the people at Warsham's and they said, yeah, I mean, the cops have been here a few times. They learn some things about that. Now, did they say that they went and got it too late? The video was already recorded over. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe they're just saying that to us. I don't know. I just know that something happened to Sebastian between 1 and 3 a.m. And it's about a vehicle. It's about the communications. It's about the lights and a vehicle. That's what it's about. It was taking place that night, not the day after, not 2 days after, that night, in the middle of the night. And I could see things were coming in the future for it because of it. So I'm going to show you all that in the morning. I'm going to show it all to you in the morning. We're going to go right back over it and we're going to look at it. And again, if you live in Texas, if you live in Ohio, just know that tomorrow, starting today through tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of intensity with Texas. And there's a lot of intensity with Don Wells too. But, you know, there's a lot that I think that we can learn when we just observe. When I'm an observer, I can learn a lot. And that's what I've done throughout the years. And that's how I've gotten, I feel really good with astrology and reading it and understanding how the different expressions. And the one expression that I know for a fact was Sebastian that was taking place in the middle of the night is a vehicle. It was after he got home. That is when the lowest point for Sebastian was, when he was taking out the trash. That was the lowest point for him, was taking out the trash. And we don't know if he was treated like trash. We don't know. I know that I've heard stories. I've heard rumors. I don't know if they're true or not. You know, I've heard rumors about him being at school and getting the trash can. And, you know, I've just heard different rumors where he just felt like he was just nothing. He was just trash. There's something up with the trash video. And like I said, it was grainy. So we don't know if that was Sebastian or not. But we would know if Sebastian made it home, if the law enforcement would show Seth, at least show the father. And I think that if it were me, and it's not, if it were me, I would be having a protest. I would be having a protest at Sumner County demanding answers to find my child. I would not rest. I wouldn't be able to rest. I want my kid found, and I want to know that y'all are doing something about it. And I want to see proof of life. That wasn't proof of life. I want to see that he made it home. I want to know that he made it home. Show me the video. If you have a proof that he made it home, show me that proof. Otherwise, you're failing me, you're failing Sebastian, you're failing everybody that cares about Sebastian, wants to find him. Right?
That's right.
I mean, why would they not show Seth that? It just it couldn't hurt the investigation. It's not their kid. They're listening to conversations. Are they hearing the garage door open? Are they hearing her go into the garage? Are they hearing him get out of the car talking? What's the proof? Let's hear it. It is a sad rumor, Diamonds. Yeah, it is a sad rumor. I don't know that she would have, because, Chris said that she didn't have a dash cam. It was something else in the car. So it's one of those, what is that called? What is that called? It's on the newer cars. It's not a dash cam. But it's where you can go back. I don't remember. I don't know what it's called. But Chris made like that, and so is law enforcement. If you look at the timeline, they say that Sebastian made it home, but we want to see, we would like to see proof that he did make it home. The again, the Uber dude, him driving a nice car, wearing nice shoes. I mean, I've been picked up by Ubers before, and it's been a nice car. I mean, nice older man, driving a nice car. I mean, it's really not unheard of. It's really not. It's not unheard of at all. But the weird thing about it with me is the fact that he had on all of that on his face and hands. I mean, he's got gloves on. He's not trying to have his fingerprints. He goes straight in there, goes to the bathroom, and then he's coming out and he's waiting for the order. Or is he? And how could they have? I know that they couldn't have switched phones. I mean, she just took the picture. I mean, they took their devices. The law enforcement took the devices, looked at the devices. I just think it's a far out type of theory, but I'm open to other theories. I just don't think that it's legit, because I think that there was definitely something that was taking place in the middle of the night. Per the astrology, once he gets home, and that's when things really begin, is once he gets home, things really begin to go south. Actually, they were going south all day long that day. It was hitting the future communications with groups and the future with his sibling, his sister. And so what is a group? It would be like a boys' home, homelessness. It's Uranus. But that third house is not just his communications, it's his sister. Everything about Sebastian's disappearance, that's the motive. For me, that's the motive. Get rid of Sebastian. The courts with Sebastian and Faith. There's courts, And I tell you what, this weekend, there's a lot of weight that's coming on them, Chris and Katie and Eric Craddock. And I don't know when Faith is supposed to be there, but I saw her last week in transit. I saw her this week in transit. And, it could be that there are things that are going on that, could make things go south.
That summer visit.
With that summer visit, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, I'm going to come back on in the morning when I've got more time, and I'm going to show you the transits, talk the astrology, show you the astrology of it. I wonder if the pic was on YJ phone. Yellow Jacket could have been airdropped from Kate. I mean, it could have been. It could have been, but why would she drop a photo? I mean, what's the reason for a photo? The photo was sent to Chris. That she was taking a picture of him eating and sending it to Chris. There's something weird about Chris and Sebastian and what he eats.
Or if he's eating.
Or if he's eating, yeah. It's weird. Chris was always, wanting to see what all he would eat. And it wouldn't surprise me if, we find out that they did have a camera in the kitchen and that he was, wanting to see if Sebastian would wake up in the middle of the night and get snacks. Very controlling, very controlling. And you got to think, he was only home once in February and he only came home for the teacher conference. Why was he gone the whole month? Was that typical? Or is that because he didn't want to be around Sebastian?
Memphis ain't even that far away.
It's really not that far. I mean, 4-hour drive. From Memphis to Hendersonville, it's a 4-hour drive. I mean, what's the big deal? Why were you not home, buddy? Why were you not home? It is complicated. Chris is complicated. Chris and his family, the fixed, manage, and control, that's another thing. We're going to see Melissa come into transit again. I'm going to come back on in the morning and I'm going to give y'all all the things that I'm seeing that are coming. No doubt about it. That way we can observe, and you can see that the things that I've observed overnight, the day before he goes missing, the day that he goes missing, and we can't forget that there is a Sebastian Rogers YouTube channel, and he uploaded a video on January 14th. And I do believe that was him uploading that video. I pulled the chart. It's got exact time that they uploaded it, that he would have uploaded it, and it's touching Sebastian. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gracing him. Whose phone was that? Whose device was that he uploaded that video to? And where was he? Whose house was he at? I've gone back to, I want to say it was October of 2023. And I played the tape through till he went missing, looking at some of the different events that would have happened. I've looked at the teacher-parent conference, the day that I think that it took place, and then the day that I think that some things were put into motion. Because the parent-teacher conference is what really put it into motion for him to go missing. And it was with one teacher, what they talk about. Why was it so uncomfortable? What was the vibe like with Chris and Katie and Seth? These are things that we don't know anything about, and all we are doing is theorizing. And that's really all I can do is theorize that there was something nefarious taking place with his health and a vehicle in the middle of the night. And he was taken somewhere. Well, Jennifer, if he, you say, well, if he shows back up at 19, isn't he going to, yeah, I mean, there will be an investigation. Where were you? What happened? I don't know how I got there. I woke up and I went to sleep at home and I woke up here. Don't know.
It's strange.
The whole thing is strange. The whole thing is so strange. Did you see that video? Yeah, Diamonds. I mean, that video is a trip. I mean, like, wow. He's videoing someone and uploading it. There's no communications at all. Yeah, the teacher conference. The parent-teacher conference. And everything that has to do with faith and that family. No, honey, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to come back on in the morning. I don't know if y'all will be able to join me. I hope that you will. It'll probably be around 9 or 10 a.m., 9 o'clock, something like that. Depends on how quick I can get my coffee and get going and feel like talking. After I wake up, it takes me a minute to get my coffee and get to feeling like I can talk.
Get your thoughts in a row.
Get my thoughts, together. But I can see a lot that's coming with Sebastian. And this opposition with Jupiter. Jupiter in Cancer is opposing his Pluto in the second house of Capricorn, and that's his values, things of value. So I want to wrap my head around this opposition and see if y'all can wrap your head around this opposition that's taking place Wednesday morning. And I think it's pertinent to how we are going to move forward. The Sagittarius full moon is all about our beliefs. It's all about our beliefs and the things that are hidden with immigration, with the law, with religion, and going far. It has nothing, Sebastian is going far somewhere. Where did he go? And who took him there? $1 million question. It's a $1 million question. And actually, it's a $50,000 one. If you know anything about Sebastian's disappearance, you're urged to call your local law enforcement or 1-800-TBI-FIND. Call someone. If you were to ever think that you see Sebastian, call his name. Hold on to him, ask him, talk to him. Oh, thank you, Diamonds. I try. I really try. And I wouldn't really call it a gift. I appreciate that, but I think it's just something that, I'm just really good with. And I think that we can all learn to be observers and to be a passerby. And that's really what I've learned the most, is try not to read into it so much, but have a good understanding of what it could be. In Jupiter, this is where the law enforcement is coming in. This is where the law enforcement is coming in, and there is going to oppose Sebastian. And it could be the deep transformation with his father. It could be about Chris. It could be about Chris's dad, but it's definitely a male energy. This is coming with the TBI. And it would be nice if we could get an update. We really need an update. It's been far too long since we've gotten an update from the law enforcement. And the TBI, Eric Craddock, again, the pressure is on. It's on them this weekend. And so I want to, like I said, I'm going to talk about it in the morning. And you guys have a good rest of the evening, and I will see y'all in the morning. Okay? Peace out.